Hey guys, Dusty Keefe with MustKnowInvesting.com, your source for tips, tools, and techniques on how to get your next deal done. Here with part 7 of how to become a CIA. Going to go over a couple things today real quick, real fast, because we don't have a lot of time together, but I'm going to try to squeeze in as much as possible because Patrick's going to kill me. As you can see him in his ninja outfit here. This video is hilarious. Go check out his high kick. It's quite amazing. So he's going to jump on me like a spider monkey if I don't get going. So here we go. Our goal for you with contracting a deal is to be able to put you in a position to be able to either close on it yourself or wholesale or assign to another party for a profit, to put some money in your pocket. Because let's face it, guys, that's what it's all about here. You know, it's not because we love being landlords that we do this. It's because we love financial freedom. So most investors are held back by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of not succeeding, fear of who knows what. Well, what if I were to tell you there's a way we can get full control of a property with no liability whatsoever? A way to get a deal under contract and give yourself plenty of time to do the research or due diligence on it prior to closing to see if this is even a deal that's worth pursuing. You know, you can get it under contract, research it, run it by your mentor if necessary, post it to us at the blog. We'll be glad to comment on it. Make sure that it's the right power move for you right now before you move forward. That's what we're looking for. So we accomplish this with language in our contracts, exculpatory language specifically, that allows us to walk away from a deal at any time if you find anything wrong with it, anything you don't like about it, whether it's the terms, the price, the neighborhood, the paint color, the landscaping. I mean, anything that you don't like about the deal, you can walk away. Because remember, our goal is to have full control of the deal while we're deciding on it and researching on it with no liability. So no matter what contract you use, and there's a ton of them out here, and I just kind of Googled free real estate sales contracts, and there's, you know, a plethora of all kinds of contracts out here on the web, and I wouldn't recommend using all of them. And of course we have tons of them from tons of authors, but out of respect for their copyrights I didn't post them here. So I just Googled free real estate sales contract. There's tons of them, and I'm just going to go over a couple things you want to make sure is in your contracts before you use them. Number one is subject to partner's approval. You want to make sure that's in there somewhere, because that gives you the right to run it by a partner, a mentor, a wife, a husband, anybody, and if they don't like it, you can back out of the deal. But you can put subject to partner's approval, subject to inspection, whatever, as long as you have something in there that's subject to your approval after seller's acceptance would be fine. Anything like that. Number two tip I have for you is to control the closing. You want to have in there, in one of the clauses, time and place of closing of your choosing, of the buyer's choosing. This is assuming we're on the buyer side of this contract. That allows you to close at your attorney's office, because I guarantee you if you close at theirs or anywhere else that you're not familiar with, there's a greater chance of it falling apart. So make sure you control that closing. Number three, limit your financial liability, which is what we were just talking about. Earnest money, you know, if you put down $100 or, you know, $10 or whatever, eventually it adds up if you do a couple deals and they don't work out or whatever. So instead of the seller or an agent or somebody else holding it, I always recommend your attorney holding your earnest money, and that way, you know, if the deal doesn't work out, or if you choose to exercise your right to back out of it, you can get your earnest money back, and no harm, no foul. Another thing you can do to limit your financial liability is to have the seller pay for the title search, and we put in our contract seller will pay for all closing costs, but in reality, as we know, a lot of times sellers have situations they can't do that. But you know, I like to try to get them to pay for the title search at least, because you must get a title search every time, because you have no idea what might pop up. Next one is maintenance and access, a clause that says, you know, obviously that they'll maintain the property, but more importantly that you'll have access to the property, and ultimately that you can market the property for the time that you have it under contract. This is huge, guys, because the number one deal killer in this whole business is vacancy. And if you buy the property and it's vacant for 4 months, guess what? Your cash flow is screwed for 2 years. So you want to make sure that you can get under contract, have a right to market the property, hopefully get a buyer or renter lined up before you even close on it to avoid a vacancy at all costs. So that is huge, guys. Make sure you have the right to market it somewhere in your contract while you have it under contract. So next one real fast is personal property. Have a clause in there that you get the stuff, is what we call it, the appliances, especially the fridge and the washer dryer if you can. But guys, people rarely ever question the written word in a contract. So if your contract says standard at the top, and they say, you know, they say that the fridge and the washer and dryer convey, you know, they rarely ever change it. So that's the way we're able to get those a lot of times and not have to buy them or not have to have our tenants buy them, which makes our property more attractive to them. And finally, number 6 is assignment. You want to be able to assign this for a profit. Assignment, we put you're able to assign the property for a profit. You know, you put that right out there and disclose it, so it's no question about it. And when you sign your name, you can sign it your name and or assigns. That's your name and / or assigns. So there's no question about it. If you find another buyer for it, you can go ahead and assign it right over to them, no problem. And there'll be a plethora of hungry investors with cash at your local real estate investor meeting. So I guarantee if you have a great deal, you can make money off of it right away by putting it under contract and wholesaling it, assigning it to another party. So again, just in real quick recap, number 1, you want to make sure you got it subject to partner's approval. Number 2, control the closing. Number 3, limit your financial liability through earnest money being held at your attorney's office and getting the seller to pay for some closing costs, specifically a title search. Number 4, make sure you have a right to market the property while you have it under contract. That is huge, huge, huge. Number 5, try to get the stuff, the personal property. Have a clause in there where you get the refrigerator and hopefully the washer, dryer, etc. And number 6, of course, being able to assign the property is ultimately huge. Guys, that's about all the time we have today for part 7. We will have a follow-up with some forms and things that you can look at coming up in the near future. We'll put that on the blog. Please visit us at the blog, mustknowinvesting.com. Any questions, we love to hear them. Any comments, go there, mustknowinvesting.com. Guys, have a great day. Happy investing.